And from D23, we move on to the gaming space as Josh is back again with more gaming news. Welcome back, Josh.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to another episode with boys. 10-question quiz to round it off today. So
yay! Can't wait to lose.
we want that belt, that belt.
That's fine.
But yeah,
I'll cope.
Rory, I believe, mate. You got this.
I don't.
It's time to claw your way back because Con is walking away with it at the minute.
That's fine.
Kicking things off, a little roundup on the games that we discussed that were yet to release last month. New World Eterna, which Rory had some thoughts on in last month's episode, sitting at a 75 average on Metacritic. I mean, is that higher or lower than you was expecting?
I'm more intrigued to know like how that compares to what New World got when it launched.
Oh,
New World looked pretty strong, didn't it?
Yeah, because everyone was like hyped about it. All I've seen from like some of the content creators I used to follow for New World, obviously have been playing this, is there's still the same old issues that New World had. It's just now the console players are getting to experience it.
So us.
Yeah, I haven't touched it, and I probably won't. It seems like it launched fine. Obviously, there's a bunch of new content creators trying it out to try and push it, but I don't think it's really going to do much for it. In my opinion.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I'm looking at the first one now, and that's sitting on a 70. So it's got a boost of 5.
Okay, so it got 5 for all the bugs it fixed over 2 years.
It seems like it. It's a solid effort. Super Mario Party Jamboree got an 82, which is actually the highest Mario Party game currently on the Switch. Obviously, it's never going to beat the old OG ones, but 82 is pretty solid. It'll be one that I'm looking to pick up.
I think I'm too competitive a person who plays too many video games to ever really see value in like a party game like this. Because it gets to Christmas, I get this out with the family, and I just absolutely stomp the floor with them. And I'm a horrific winner. I'm not going to let them forget that I beat their ass.
This is where you're playing Mario Party games wrong as an adult. You play things like Super Mario Party, and if you get a star, you have to drink. Or you make it who can actually lose. And then it becomes really annoying actually purposely trying to lose Mario Party, because if you get a star, you get pissed off, which makes for a fun dynamic. I've done that
And
before.
think of the RNG in Super Mario Party. There's no guaranteed winning, so you're either going to get really drunk or get the ump because you didn't win because of the RNG. So.
Yeah, I'm just not the kind of person that can be trusted with party video games. It's just not for me. Get Monopoly out.
Call of Duty Black Ops 6. We will be discussing this one in a bit. Currently sitting at an 83 average across all platforms.
Not bad.
Pretty solid.
I've not played the campaign yet, but all I've heard is it might be one of the best COD campaigns ever. Like, that's all I'm hearing.
The same. Yeah, I'm hearing very good things.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's a Treyarch game that's had more time to cook than basically any COD game ever. Are we surprised it's very good? Not particularly. It's just nice for the first time in what would be considered like the modern era, post Modern Warfare 2019, to actually have a game that genuinely feels fun to play.
I don't disagree with that at all. One that the score breaks my heart a little bit. I've not finished it yet. Life is Strange Double Exposure.
Is that worst game of the month I'm seeing there based on scores?
It's sitting at a 73.
It's a bit rough with
some of the reviews. I've not finished yet. I'm 2 or 3 chapters in. I'm really enjoying my time with it so far. Some of the criticisms that I've seen that are bringing the scores down some of them are valid, and some of them are a lot of people being annoyed at wokeness, which always grinds my gears, bringing the score down just because people are stupid. So I won't go much more into that, but 73, I would have preferred it a little bit higher, seeing as the other ones scored so well.
It's always difficult now to trust any kind of crowdsourced score when there is such a push on the internet of hate anything that's deemed woke. And woke as a word has lost all meaning at this point. But I, as a general rule, for the most part, with a few exceptions, trust your opinion on games over the scores. So if you're enjoying the game, I'm sure it's a good game.
That's very nice of you to say, mate. Thank you
Yeah, I
very
don't
much.
know if I'd trust Josh.
Yeah, he has some stinky opinions. Don't get me wrong. He thought Starfield was a waste of time. What
No,
a bell
that
end.
one I
But
can
other than
agree
that-
with.
That's valid. That's valid.
How many hours do the two of you have in Starfield combined?
Enough.
Do you even
Enough
have
to know
30
that it's
minutes
not
combined?
good. I have
No,
0,
minutes.
and that's enough to know I wouldn't enjoy it.
Sweet, yeah.
I've got a couple of hours, maybe 2 max.
Yeah, cool.
That was enough for me to decide it wasn't for me. But rounding out the games, Dragon Age Veilguard, one that we all expressed some interest in last month, actually, is an 82. I don't know if that's as high as they were probably hoping it to be, but 82 is still a pretty solid score.
I mean, this game has also been a target of, similar to Life is Stranger's, oh no, it's wokeness and stuff. So I'm actually pleasantly surprised that scores as high as that.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like the kind of thing that would get review bombed, because I know there's a couple of accounts on Twitter that are pretty big in that space of driving hate towards things, and they kind of seem to zero in on this game a little bit, so I'm actually surprised that it managed to break the 80s.
Yeah, like I say, 82 is nothing to complain about.
No, not at all.
And then yet to release for the rest of what month we're in, November and early December, Lego Horizon Adventures, which actually releases today as we're recording it on the 14th. I'm not sure how that's going to review. For some of the early embargoed opinions that I saw, wasn't actually that great at all.
What's the point of it? Is it just a remake of the original game, but just all Lego?
No, so it's not like a usual. Say you had Lego Avengers, for example. It's not a replay of the film in Lego form. It's some weird open world, completely different adventure. So it's not what people were after, basically. There's a lot of bugs. The game, the combat's underwhelming from what I've heard.
I'm always don't really if like reviewers that do early reviews and they're like, oh, there's loads of bugs. I'm like, that's just games nowadays. You've got an early release copy. Everyone knows nowadays that there's day one patches. So like if all their like bad things are just, oh, it's a buggy mess or this didn't work, I'm like, okay, well, we'll wait and see when it's actually out.
Yeah, so next month I'll probably recap that one. We can give it a score there at a time. But one that I am expecting to get high 80s, I want to say, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. I think that's going to score really high.
I feel like they just don't miss with these games, do they?
They don't. I think it's
hard
high
to
80s.
miss when the people that love those games just want it to be a realistic flight sim. So as long as they nail that, which they have been, I
feel like when it comes to any kind of realism game, if someone tries to complain about something, people are going to go, well, how good are you at it? And then if someone goes, oh, I'm not that good, they're just going to go, well, get better then. I feel like that's like a real thing in any kind of realism game. If you have a legitimate complaint, a lot of the time the diehard community will be like, it's a skill issue, get better.
Yeah, I feel like the older flight sims, people would be like, oh, the graphics are a bit rubbish, and they'll be like, yeah, but it flies like a real plane. We don't care about that. It feels like a real plane. That's why we're playing it.
Yeah.
So.
And it's also like gorgeous these days as well, which is crazy. You need like 12 supercomputers to get the most out of that game.
They're adding like quests and stuff in it. Actually,
yeah. So you can you can be like have like a paramedic helicopter and have to like rescue people off mountains and stuff like that.
Can I be a drone pilot
it does
for the
look pretty
US
cool.
military?
I won't be there. I'm assuming it's on Game Pass.
Yeah, the flight sim games are always on Game Pass.
So yeah, I think that's going to score high 80s. Have to keep an eye out for that one. One that I'm excited for, Stalker 2: Heart of Chernobyl. It got pushed back a lot because of the war in Ukraine, but it's
I was
going to
say, I swear this game was supposed to have come out like 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's been pushed a lot because of everything that's going on with Russia and Ukraine, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
But 20th of November.
Devs, if I remember right.
20th of November, it will be there. It is day one Game Pass. Highly recommend everyone checking this one out. It's going to be very good. Have either of you played the first one?
No, I haven't. I never got around to it.
I've played a bit of it. I haven't fully played it.
It's old now. It came out like late 2000s, I think.
It was a while ago. It's one of those that
Yeah.
lives in the world of like Metro and stuff.
Yeah.
That kind of
Yeah,
Like one of them ones like you see
thinking.
gameplay and you get them all confused.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's what we'll give a go. We'll have to have a look at that.
Day one Game Pass, mate. If you don't like it, you don't have to carry on.
Exactly.
One I do think we're going to be carrying on: Marvel Rivals on the 6th of December.
I'm
as long as the
ready.
studio doesn't get shut down.
I mean, in all fairness, I assume we will get into that a little bit. But it seems like, based on what I'm seeing, this isn't going to actually affect the game in any meaningful way. It might make its success a little more difficult to judge and stuff. But it seems like the game's going to launch no problem. They've still been promoting it the same amount. If anything, they've been ramping up promotion. They're announcing new heroes. I want this game to be super fun for me and to take all my time. I'm like actively willing it. All it has to do is be enjoyable, and it's got me for a while.
Yeah, I mean, the joke about the news, it's like, it's some devs and some execs thing. It's like, in the grand scheme of things, it at most might affect future content like this, if might delay that stuff. But the game's going to be basically done at this point.
Yeah.
So
it'll be a
should
case of
launch fine.
release it, and as long as it's doing well, we'll find a way to make it work.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to it. Obviously, the news with all the money laundering stuff is nice.
Alleged.
Alleged money laundering, but the actual, obviously that's only certain individuals. You can't blame the whole team for stuff like that, because I have seen they're already implementing and like daily check in their anti-cheat to make sure that's going to be super effective. I think if they can get the content right and not make it feel dry throughout December, because it's coming out at the start of the month, they could do a lot going into Christmas and stuff like that. I don't see any reason why it would fail. I didn't get to play any of the alphas or betas.
No, did I? Despite my various pleads of someone give me access. It's
so I can imagine it'll be one we'll be trying out on stream. Probably you'll be streaming him.
Big time. And we talk about content when it comes to games like this now, and it has quite possibly the largest foot up against any possible competitor, in the sense of they get content made for them in a way. Like, if you just look at 2025, you've got Captain America film, you've got the Thunderbolts film, you've got Fantastic Four, you've got Daredevil. They can do a tie-in event to every single one of them shows that requires minimal effort. And it's just something for people to go, oh, the Daredevil show's on, I'm going to go play as Daredevil because there's a free Daredevil skin that I can get if I log a certain amount of hours. They've got so much that keeps them in the loop at all times that will hopefully, from their point of view, keep them relevant more easily.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we said when it was announced, it is going to live and die on if it's balanced well.
Absolutely.
So we can only wait and see.
Yep, 6th of December, we will be there, 100%. One I don't know if we'll be there for. I'm still on the fence. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. It is day one on Game Pass. 9th of December. Will either of you be there?
I am very much unsure. I love Indiana Jones. It's one of them like more niche franchises that I have a lot of fond memories with. And punching Nazis in the face is never not fun. But at the same time, at the same time, with the kind of political environment, I don't want to like. Maybe I want to save my Nazi punching for something a little bit more realistic, if you know what I mean. Like, I feel like if the world was in a better place right now, the notion of punching Nazis would be a lot more fun and a lot less, oh god, this is scary.
If only someone would bring a mod out for the game to reskin.
It's just.
He'll probably be there.
I mean,
it's a weird one.
I probably won't be on day one or anything. I'll probably keep an eye on it and see what.
Yeah, I think that's what I'll be doing. I think I'll be waiting for reviews. If it's 77 or higher, I'll check it out. If it's under 77, I'll probably give it a skip.
Okay, so when it gets to December 18th, when you're next on, and it's sat at an 83, and I ask you what your opinion of it is, and you go, I haven't played it, I'm gonna mock you.
Oh, just because I'll be playing it doesn't mean I'll be playing it straight away. It will join the ever growing backlog of games.
Bottom of the
The
list.
backlog.
But yeah, 9th of December, day one on Game Pass. I believe it's coming to PlayStation in March. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah,
I
all I
remember
know
it
for
being
sure is that it
sooner
is
than
going
people thought
to.
it was going to be.
Yeah, all I know is it's definitely going to PlayStation. I don't know the exact date. But as someone who is Xbox first, I just want to go out on a limb and say I don't care about Xbox games being available to PlayStation gamers. If the game is good, I want it to be available to more people.
To everyone, yeah.
Yeah.
100%. One day, mate, there'll be all platforms day one.
I just want peace.
One day.
And then the Fire Nation attack.
A news. Oh, wow. Okay. Announcement, news, and updates. Got a bit carried away there. Con's excited me.
Got so excited.
Yeah, I shouldn't really be excited for this one. So you've shut down Firewalk Studios following the catastrophic release of Concord. We spoke about it a couple of episodes ago now, following when the Concord, it was announced that the servers were going to be taken offline and the game was basically dead. It's peak, but we should have seen it coming because
it was
the gamers.
As soon as they said they're shutting the game down after like 6 days, this was inevitable. Like the studio has failed at what they were supposed to produce. Sony's not gonna see any point. The bad press around them is like a studio like CD Projekt Red is established enough that they could come back from the bad press of Cyberpunk. This was a new studio with no like rep in the game that to try and bring this studio back from where it was, like publicly, people were never going to give them a chance.
Yeah, they were always going to be the studio that shipped Concord.
Exactly.
The big thing that sucks about this is the high level executives who made the decisions and agreed that ridiculous budget to make the game and all of that stuff are going to be the people who easily find new work. We know how it is. A lot of them guys who were earning the big money over there and made the decisions that inevitably made the game a failure are going to be the people who find work more easily. It's going to be the graphic designers and the people who actually made the game every day and wrote line after line of code and fucked with models and everything, and all the play testers that are more likely to struggle to find work because of the shape of the gaming industry right now.
I think yes and no. Like, yeah, I agree. The bottom tier devs and artists and stuff, it's shit for them. And like you said, the industry's in a shit position. Like, they're going to struggle to find work. The execs, I don't know. I think some of them, sure, they might find there's studios out there that probably won't care and they'll look past this. I think there's plenty of studios though with the press around it that the culture these execs had put in place and how it was like bad. I think other studios will have seen that and will pay attention to that. And if they look at this like senior dev and is, oh, I worked on Concord, they're gonna be like, oh, there's plenty of other senior devs that haven't. We're just not even
haven't worked on Concord.
Like similar to the lower end devs, there is also a lot of senior devs and stuff. Like the whole games industry is diluted with talent and not enough spots, so they can just avoid see Concord on a resume. They're just going to be like, well, we can get someone who hasn't been near that game and we know they're a safer bet. But yeah, points that people need to realize though is just because the studio shut down, the IP is not gone away. Like Sony spent a lot of money on this IP just because it failed.
8 years.
Just
we're going to be seeing Concord in December with Next Level.
In Level Up.
Not Next Level, Secret Level.
Secret Level, yes. So like, there's chance this IP comes back and they try it again with a new studio and.
Imagine a phoenix rising from the ashes that is Concord. 5,
you
6,
feel
7
like-
years, you get a Concord sequel, and you got a bunch of kids like, this game is fucking lit. We're like, hold on, that
Do you
game
think the
caused...
name is too tainted now?
No, never in video games, never.
Here's my thing. I think, depending, we're expecting the secret level to do well, and I'm sure, I know me and Connor will get into it later in the pod, but like, if their episode is like really good and everyone's like, this was Concord and you made that, like, we want this Concord. Like, if they do a good enough job of selling the IP and selling the world, people will give another studio a chance, but they have like one more chance with it.
Yeah.
Let me put it another way. The Borderlands movie is arguably the biggest flop of the decade.
Won't ruin the game though.
Even that film caused a massive spike in sales for the Borderlands games, despite being a horrific film. Enough people went, I wonder what the game's like, to cause a massive spike in game sales. Secret Levels Concord episode could genuinely do enough that you get a bunch of people who didn't even know about Concord, Google it, going, oh, this seems like this game wasn't really given a chance. And then you'll get like a little cult following that in 10 years when they release Concord 2 is like, finally vindication.
I think, well, Sony's put enough money in and they have enough money to throw it again that it wouldn't surprise me if this comes back in like 10 years or something.
And
That'd
we
be
will
wild.
pretend we were lovers all along.
No.
Yeah, I was there day one, 10 years ago.
I was
let's
one of the
see if
6
this
people
fire
that
burns
bought it.
brighter the second time.
It won't. I think it's dead in the water, but we'll have to wait and see. 10 years is a long time. One that you two are very much aware of. As per Vice, Daniel Casey, the writer for Fast and Furious 9, which I'll need you two to tell me if it's that any good because I'm not a Fast and Furious guy, is
I have opinions.
executive producer
Same.
for the Mass Effect Amazon Prime TV adaptation, which I love Mass Effect games. A lot of people do. Excited to see this one. Can you guys tell me about Fast 9?
I was very excited for Mass Effect as a TV show because I think it works really well. Until I saw that they got Fast and Furious. Anyone who's touched Fast and Furious with a barge pole should be banned from making anything that has any substance. Apart from Tokyo Drift.
I partly disagree with that because, don't get me wrong, I'm sure he had a fair say in the writing of Fast 9. We also
What else has he
know
worked on?
who is the main person that runs that ship on Fast and Furious is Vin Diesel, who has a massive ego. Like, we know that whatever
He's also
writers,
worked on Critical Role.
whatever writer is in the Fast universe, they don't have 100% say on the story. Let's be honest. They're probably told these certain things need to be like happen with certain people getting the spotlight on them because they have egos. Fast 9 was, I mean, as ridiculous, like it until Fast 10, which interesting story, happened to watch the other day. I actually say Fast 9 was slightly more ridiculous than Fast 10. It's just they brought people back from the dead. They've kind of broken old storylines and made plot holes, and they don't care for the story anymore with Fast and Furious. It's just action. That's just what the films are, unfortunately. I don't know if it's a bad thing.
I don't trust anyone who's been involved in the creative process of a Fast and Furious film to get the most out of the Mass Effect universe.
Yes, and it depends on many factors though with Mass Effect. It's like he's not going to be the only writer. Are there like people that made the games involved? Is this going to be like we saw Amazon do it with Fallout?
Yeah.
Like, have they got people that worked on that working on this who understand how to try? Like, one person's not going to ruin it. It's whether or not he's given full control, and then it's a bit like, is this in safe hands?
By what you've just described, it doesn't sound like it's in safe hands.
It's concerning that he's the name they want to throw out there as working on it. I think that's fair to say, at least.
Yeah,
Hopefully, the rest of the writers' room has a bit more
it'd be better
of
off
a
to find out
proven track record.
what's he had to say since Fast and Furious 9. Did he come out of that situation and be like, "Yeah, I don't want to do it. There's too many hands on the steering wheel or
Yeah.
something like."
No, don't make a fucking driving pun right now. Bad horizontal, back.
Oh, am I not allowed to
suppose
make the
we're just gonna
puns?
have to wait and see.
Only Connor can make the puns in the segues.
Love the segue. Although he did today. It's a very weak segue, if I must say so.
Yeah. Crack on.
But there's no, we got no date confirmed for Mass Effect, so I suppose we're just gonna have to keep our eyes peeled, see when it is gonna be ready. And the last bit of news is it broke a couple of days ago, I think. One that the consumerism in me is very much looking forward to. So Spill Fencer, Phil Spencer,
Spill Fencer.
we love him, the old Xbox goat himself. Phil Spencer has revealed that Microsoft are currently working on a handheld prototype. However, an actual console is still years away. Now, would that be something that either of you would be interested in?
The kid in me.
Aware,
Oh, go on.
I have been considering a handheld for a long time, and I'm stuck into what I need from it because I like the idea of a Steam Deck, but I know that also has issues with any game that requires a launcher, like a COD or a FIFA or anything like that. I know there's ways around it, and by the sounds of it, they're not too complicated.
Mhm.
But then you've also got stuff like Neo Go's, which are like pretty fucking powerful for their size, and they can run like Game Pass a lot easier. And I already have a Game Pass subscription, so there's that. So the notion that Microsoft's going to bring out a device, and they're like, yeah, this is definitely going to work with Game Pass games, which would you'd hope then also work with stuff like FIFA and Madden, which comes through EA Play. I'm like, depending on when that launches and my position at the time, that might be literally exactly what I want a handheld to be. I didn't realise Phil Spencer had actually confirmed it, so I'd seen a lot of rumours, but I hadn't realised Phil Spencer had confirmed it, which has just made it a lot more real to me and very exciting.
Still years away, mate.
I don't care, I'll be excited now. Just like I'm
mean,
excited for the next remaster of The Last of Us.
The kid in me is like, oh yes, finally an Xbox handheld. After all the years of the Xbox portable meme renders that flew around the internet with the 720 Xbox.
Classic. What time to be alive that was.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me that they're finally working on it, especially like Con was saying with the Steam Deck. I don't know if I'd get an Xbox handheld. I don't play consoles anymore. Obviously, I sometimes pick up Game Pass, but most of the time I play Steam games. So if I was to get a handheld, it would probably be a Steam Deck, or I'm gonna get like one of those retro like Game Boy emulator ones. I really want one of them. So it's like, I don't think I would get the Xbox handheld, but you never know, in a few years, maybe I will when it actually comes out.
The interesting thing is going to be like how locked down a system it is, because at their core, Xbox machines at this point are Windows 10 machines. Like they are at their core so similar that people with with not too much jiggery pokery can get like a Series X running as a PC. So if they end up being top tier hardware and they actually relax a little so it's not so strict and they make like a dual boot mode available, this device could do incredibly well. If they decide to just keep it very much as an Xbox device, it can still do well, but I think it kind of limits themselves a little bit.
It'd be interesting to see if they go Steam Deck route of handheld, like that sort of form factor, or if they do something like the Switch where it can dock and be both. Like maybe that's where the Xbox console goes next.
That would make a fuck ton of money. Kind of get rid of like the Series S, which is that mid tier, and go right. You've got a premium bad boy, And then our mid-range tier is just more versatile in general. It's got the dock, it's got the handheld mode, it's got everything, and it's a more reasonable price. It's definitely an option.
It could also
Be
just
interested
be.
to see. Go on, Harry.
Well, the thing with the Amazon Fire Stick, they could very easily have it be a handheld that also then can connect with that if you've got that on your TV, and that is just the controller for it. Like, they could make a system that essentially doesn't need a console box.
I mean, that's definitely in their plans. You can, I mean, even as recently as about 2 hours before recording, they launched their new advertising campaign, which is this is an Xbox, and it goes through an Aya Neo and an Xbox and a laptop and a PC and a Fire Stick. Because Xbox's motto for about 5 years, although we didn't believe it for a long time, was we just want everyone to be able to play our games. And they're actually now starting to put like their money where their mouth is and go, yeah, cloud gaming, we've invested a fuck ton in it. Xbox games on PlayStation, they're still working on a deal with Nintendo to bring some Xbox games to Nintendo devices, aren't they? They're working on just like getting their games as far and wide. And a lot of people get concerned that that means they don't want to do hardware anymore. But I think their goal is actually we're going to focus on getting games to everyone so that no matter what kind of gamer you are, we then know that we've got players there who would buy our hardware.
Yeah, because correct me if I'm wrong, some Samsung newer TVs have Game Pass in them, and you can just connect your
That's fucking awesome.
controller. It's obviously all cloud based, but I'm pretty sure
it's the new Samsung smart TVs, which is like all they need to do is get the Game Pass app onto like Chromecast, another big TV brand, and it's basically in every home.
And it also, like, as opposed to other things, I'm not concerned that because they make their own handheld, that something like, again, like the Aya Neo Go, which I know a lot of people who focus more on Xbox use instead, they won't stop supporting that either. Which means if they release a garbage product, we've still got another way to play Xbox games on the go. So overall, I think this is a great discussion, a great product idea conceptually, and hopefully, as long as they just take their time to make sure it's worth making, it will do pretty well.
I think if
Don't want a PlayStation Portal.
Can't disagree more.
If Phil Spencer's listening, he should make the dock for the handheld the 720 ball.
What a massive circle in a world where everyone wants their text smaller.
It's spherical.
You want a massive spherical thing.
Don't care. Spherical, and it just slots in the front.
That would be
what I don't want is a controller that's cut in half with a screen mashed in the middle of it. I don't know who thought that was a good idea ever for anything.
Yeah, but the shape of the 360 controller is good in the hands, so that just...
True. Well, I mean, that's going to be years away yet, so...
Yeah.
We're going to have to keep our eyes out. What isn't years away is the game that we have already been playing.
Nice.
Can't I'm making up for your poor segue, Hello.
Nice.
I'll open the floor to you both. What have you been playing recently? What have you been enjoying? Not enjoying.
We've all been playing the fuck out of the new Pokemon Pocket game,
which will be the topic of this podcast today.
We've been playing that so much we had to create a separate channel in the Discord so that we could like still have a normal conversation.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely with that went through the ringer for like a week.
Yeah, you were in your depths for a minute there.
For the people that are playing it, no, there's a Lapras event on, and it took me 14 promo packs before I got my first Lapras. Meanwhile, Josh had 4 by that point.
I think I got 3 in my first 6 packs. I want to say
diabolical.
I was losing my mind, but yeah, we've all been playing the shit out of that.
Big one for me, ironically, completely separately before we even knew the Pokemon, or I even knew the Pokemon game was happening. I've been playing a lot of the TCG Card Shop Simulator.
Yep,
which
videos.
Having a fucking
there's
blast
a
for that
Pokemon
game.
mod for that.
Yeah, there is. That's a great way for my videos to get destroyed by Nintendo. I'm pretty sure if I tried to upload a video of that Pokemon mod on
just say it's Power World.
Someone from Nintendo would kick my front door and put a bullet in my head. Nintendo don't fuck around with their IP. Now, Power World mod for it, I'd be down with. Yeah, ironically, which is no one's going to believe after them being the two games I'm playing the most at the minute, I'm not a trading card dude.
You are now.
Because I've always been like, no, it's cardboard. You've got to protect them so much; it will stress me out. I can't do it. So having a virtual way to scratch that part of my brain that would like it is actually mint. I'm loving it so much. And then of course, COD, because I'm still like a 20-year-old white dude. So what else would I play?
I love the way that you said you didn't want to collect cardboard and you've got to keep them nice while you've got some good comics behind you in there.
Yeah, I don't need more things to stress me out.
No, that's valid.
I mean, I'd been playing Throne and Liberty. I still was playing that for a fair bit. I got to the end game where it was enjoyable and there was plenty to do. It slowed, like all MMOs, it slows down to just like your daily grinds. They had a fun Halloween event, I will say, where they even added in a Halloween dungeon that you could do.
Okay,
which had
creepy.
some fun little mechanics. One where you get turned into a pumpkin and have to roll your way down an obstacle course, like corridor, while dodging like.
Sure, I had a nightmare like that once.
But like fun Halloween content. Then out of kind of, I knew this was on the horizon, but I wasn't expecting it till next year, is Brighter Shores, which for the people in the MMO space will have heard about. For people that love RuneScape will definitely know about, because it's by the original founder of Jagex and RuneScape, one of the brothers. They obviously eventually sold RuneScape on. I played, I would say, old school RuneScape as it's now known, but like when I was playing, it was just RuneScape. Was the first PC game, along with like Club Penguin.
The true
what
goat,
contrast
by the way.
of games.
The true goat, by the way, Club Penguin.
Contrast of MMO games, but like I played the shit out of RuneScape back then. So like when I heard he didn't make anything for ages, and then he just got, people were like asking him apparently like, are you going to make another game, whatever. This started as a passion project. There's like 8 devs on it, and then people obviously got wind that he'd been making this game and then pestered him for early access, so he dropped it in early access. It's a lot of fun. It's, if you like RuneScape, you will most likely enjoy this. It's like RuneScape, it's very skill heavy, so all your like cooking, wood cutting, all those sorts of skills, there's a lot of grind to that. They link into quests. You need to be like certain levels and things to do quests.
To be happy, you just need the ability to chop down virtual trees, don't you?
I've realized
that's all you need.
All I need in an MMO is skills like wood cutting, cooking, and all that like New World had. Just give me that. Give me a max level to grind to, and I'm happy. I already hit 50, which is like the first cape. The max level's 500. The fun way they've done, like at RuneScape, there were skill capes when you hit 99. This is like tiered, and each tier like adds an extra bit onto the bottom of your cape, so it gets like fancier.
Dude's doing a camo grind in an MMO.
Pretty much. But it's really cool because there's not servers. It's got what seems to be the trend in MMOs at the moment, like server meshing, where essentially they try to blend all the servers into like, you just feel like you're in one. So the map's split into like cubes, and every time you go into a new one, you're just in there with a bunch of players. There's no load times. It's seamless, but like you're constantly surrounded by people by that way. Like it never feels dead like some MMO servers can end up being. It's a lot of fun. They've been pumping out like quality of life updates literally every day, which has been really cool. The community's loving, because like lots of small things that community like, oh, we can't click on the map to move. Day later, there's an update, and then another day later, like it's tweaked. That like, it's been really good in that sense. It got very mixed reviews on launch day. Because I think people didn't understand the mechanic. So,
is this one of the ones where gamers are getting angry at stuff when they've just like not bothered
they've
to
had
work
like
out what's going on?
5 hours of game time, and like basically the areas are called episodes because it's quite story based. When you get into the next zone, it was called like episode 2, and the next zone came with a new set of skills, and your skills are tied to a zone that you're in, which is cool because when you got into the forest, you get the woodcutting skills and carpentry, but you got a new combat skill and you got a new like gathering skill, which people were like, why have you just reset me to 0? But not realizing, and I get that, you walk into this new zone, you've got new skills, none of your other ones are useful in this zone, you're back at 0. But actually, it helps with the issue of like in MMOs where you get to like end game, you're in the high level zones, you never go back to the starting zone, which then just makes that zone dead after a few years when there's not really new players coming in. So you have a reason to be going back to each zone. Also, as you get further in, you need to have levels in different zones for certain items, craftables. So they start blending, but obviously you don't see that straight away. And one
So,
way
as always, gamers being impatient.
yeah, and obviously this was very quickly fixed, but like you went into the new zone and the level it displayed was for that zone. So everyone was like, I'm back at 0. They've changed it now to show your max level, which I think is better. So it's actually it went from mixed, it's now mostly positive, I think now, because they've been quick with updates. So I've been playing the shit out of that. I've got like 80 hours in it in a week.
Is that free to play?
Yeah, I was about to say that. What's the script? Is it free?
So there's free to play. There's 4 episodes, but the episode 3 and 4 zones are like a subscription. Similar model to RuneScape. Like a good chunk of the map is a free to play area. You can do plenty. And then there was like the subscription areas. I imagine as the game's expanded, I'll be interested to see if it's like the next 2 zones come out of something and they're the people that are subbed get them first, and then the people that are free get the 2 that they didn't have.
Yeah,
or if it'll be like each side kind of expands. Like there's a free play zone and another. I don't know how it's not really said.
A free island and a rich island.
Well, because it's like the map split into these like chunks, you could just like, oh, the path for the free people goes this way, and the other like the paid area is growing over here. Like it hasn't said how they're gonna do that yet, but I think the subscription is similar to like RuneScape. It's like £4 a month for an MMO. That's pretty cheap.
Yeah, if you're going to be putting a lot of hours into it, you value for money, so.
But I'm enjoying it. It's if you like RuneScape, you'll probably like it. That's kind of taking a lot of time.
Go find Horizontal and chop some trees down with them.
What surprise.
What have you been playing, Josh?
I've been playing a range of different things at the minute. Like you say, Pokemon, which, funny enough, 1 minute ago, I have a booster pack ready to open. I'll be doing that after, don't worry.
Do it live. Let's see what you pull. Come on. Big bucks, no worries.
Here we go then.
If you don't pull full art right now, you've choked.
I'll continue talking as this loads up. I finally platinumed Plucky Squire the other day.
Awesome.
My rant from last month, I had a great game-breaking bug in which I couldn't physically progress because of something that happened. I had to wait for the bug to come out, finish the game when the patch came out, got all the collectibles the other day. I gave the game, I think, a 5 out of 10 on my spreadsheet. The premise of the game being able to flip between 2D and 3D is really fun. It's just the execution wasn't there. The story wasn't that great. I compare it to other games like Tinykin, which I enjoyed my time with a lot more, which reflects in the score, which obviously isn't ideal. Would you boys like me to open a Charizard, Pikachu, or Mewtwo pack?
Mewtwo, come on. Big bucks, no worries. I want to say Mewtwo full art EX
you
right
don't
now.
have like set packs you're currently trying to open for set cards?
I rotate every day.
For the sake of the video, tell me when to stop.
That
one?
Yeah.
Rip it. This isn't going to focus, is it?
Oh, it's an egg.
Is there anything in there? There's something at the back. You ready?
Slowpoke.
Ghastly.
Oh, a new
card,
Kingler
big bucks.
for the decks and a Ditto.
I
mean, I'll take it. A Ditto,
Hollow Border,
and a Kingler, and a new card that I don't have yet.
Do you want me to ruin all of your superstitions? about the
Go
whole
on.
pack picking.
Go on.
Is the pack not decided till you click on one?
No, all the packs are identical. Like when you pick, and as soon as the carousel starts, all of them are identical. No matter which one you pick, you'll get the same set of cards.
But it's nice feeling in your head that you might get something different.
Yeah. I also only ever open reverse, so I see the backs of the cards first.
Do you know what I do? I hit the skip in the bottom right, and I swipe it straight away.
Oh no, you're ruining
no,
all of
that's
your
so
dopamine.
boring.
No, because I used to do the whole fucking thing, and now I'm just like, that doesn't matter to me. Just
What-
we
I
do
like
that.
teasing myself.
Yeah.
Peeking the deck to the side, see if there's a hollow or a psych at the back. I love it.
Yeah.
Do you know how
Every
people
crazy.
realized that was the case? Because you know on the Wonder Picks, it shows like what your friends got. The mate on the carousel of the packs, it already showed his Wonder Pick to his other friend.
I've got some serious beef with the
Okay.
Wonder Picks. My brother opened 2 back-to-back packs that had.
I thought you knew how they worked.
Yeah, no, 1 sec. That has like the cards that have like the hidden animations. Where it goes
yeah.
into the card. So he opened back-to-back packs that had the Pikachu and the Charizard. His Wonder Pick was the 3rd pack he opened that had nothing in it.
Oofed.
He sent me both of them. I go straight to the Wonder Picks, and the only pack in there is something that's just got dog shit cards. I was fuming. But yes, I've absolutely mastered my Wonder Picks. I always get what I want now.
I don't think that's how it works, mate.
I promise you, I have gamed the system.
I never
I
get
always get my Wonder Pick.
I also always pick the same one. Top middle.
Yeah, top left every time.
I was doing that for a while. It's a fool's game. I noticed the patterns.
No.
Tism go burr.
There is no patterns there. But yeah, apart from Pokemon Life is Strange, like I discussed, played a couple of episodes of that. I do need to carry on. It's one that I like to play at night rather than during the day. I don't know if that resonates with anyone, but preferring to play games at certain times of the day.
I don't play games during the day because I work, so.
Yeah, valid. And COD. It's my first COD in a couple of years, I think. I didn't
Ever.
play last year. Not ever.
Yeah, you're on MW2, weren't you?
I think so.
Yeah. We played some MW2 together.
There you go. Didn't play last year. I wasn't sure if I was going to get it this year. I have Game Pass. The only reason I checked it out, I probably wouldn't have paid full price for the game. Enjoying my time with it at the minute, actually. Complete both Easter eggs for the 2 zombies maps. Got the cool calling cards to say that you've done them before at a certain time. I can't remember what it was.
God, they must be easy,
today.
man.
Is it today? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's toxic. So got those. Enjoying camo grinds at the minute. I've got diamond, melee weapons, launchers, and shotguns. Obviously, they're the fairly easier ones with the least weapons in their class. But enjoying it so far. The maps are to be desired. They're not the best. I've been playing a lot of Nuketown 24/7 and
Yeah.
Stakeout 24/7, I believe it is.
Yeah.
A couple of the maps, the regular maps, I'm really not a fan of. So I'm hoping to see what they can do, what's going to be in the competitive map pool, etc. But the actual gameplay, I'm really enjoying. The guns feel nice, movement feels nice. Spawns on some of the maps can be a bit ropey, but apart from that, I'm enjoying my time with it.
Yeah. It's one of them ones where I look at the core of this game. I'm just like, just give us the best year of maps you've got left in you, and this game is an all-timer. But yeah, it's one of them ones now where the ethos of COD maps hasn't changed, but the game has changed so much from like Black Ops 2 that even remastering old maps doesn't work as well anymore, because we've got a game now where there's like 3 different levels of sprint and you can dive around corners and like fucking butt bounce downstairs and shit. And they're remastering maps where it was literally just run or walk and that was it.
I mean, I watched Optic do the race for like a week, and all they said all week was the maps are just the everything else feels great, the maps are bad.
Yeah, I think that's the general consensus all around at the minute. We'll have to wait and see what they do with that. Yeah, apart from that, I don't think I've really been playing much else. There's a couple of games I'm looking forward to. I've still got so much on the backlog that as to when I'm going to get to it, I have no idea.
Oh no, I've got too many games to play. My diamond
is
shoes
literally
are
it.
too tight. My house is too big. I'm just too jacked and rich.
I am. Let me think. None of the above. But no, COD and Pokemon's got me hooked at the minute. And speaking of Pokemon, that is our discussion / topic of the pod today. With the statement: can Pokemon TCG Pocket be as successful as Pokemon Go or Marvel Snap? Obviously, Marvel Snap's probably its direct competitor in the sense that they're the same type of thing. Pokemon Go, obviously, same IP, totally different game.
Global phenomenon.
Yeah, we can break down versus Pokemon Go and versus Marvel Snap. We'll start with Pokemon Go. Like you say, that I personally don't think it will ever be as big as that. This is much more niche. I think this is much more niche. Obviously, it's got the cool side of collecting, but the main thing is you're supposed to be battling it like the actual TCG. Pokemon Go was for everyone. Get you out the house. It dropped in summer. Everyone you knew and their dog was about playing. People who didn't even know what Pokemon was were downloading just to get involved. I don't think this has got the same hit.
I don't think it's got the same peak of like that drop, because I literally remember when it dropped. I was in the middle of doing NCS. I don't know if anyone there's probably people there who've just had a vicious flashback to NCS.
PTSD.
And we were up visiting Loughborough at the time, and someone had a New Zealand iTunes account for whatever reason, which meant they already had access to it, so they were logging into everyone else's phone so they could download it so that we could all play it early.
Me and my mate made a new iTunes for America.
Yeah,
we was
so I completely agree. It won't have like that kind of like, wow, everyone in the fucking world is playing this. But I think as a game and like the measures of success of a game, of how well does it make money, how long does it survive and stuff, this is great. Anyone who collects Pokemon cards already will be on this. A lot of people who enjoyed Pokemon Go are going to go, wait, Pokemon, but I don't have to walk anymore. Yes, please.
I mean, yeah,
I think it's going to be massive. Massive.
I remember Pokemon Go because I was on the flight back from Greece on a lad's holiday, and as we landed back in the UK, we were all furiously downloading it. And then on the train from the airport, we were trying to we'd see one appear, and obviously we're going too fast. To click on it, yeah. And it's like we're there trying to catch our first Pokemon on a train. It was not good, but I agree. I don't think it peaks as high as Pokemon Go, but I think it outlasts how long Pokemon Go lasted, just because it's so close to actually collecting the Pokemon cards. But essentially it gives people that like us that used to have Pokemon cards as kids, but probably didn't like spend loads of money. It was just we got the odd booster pack here and there off our parents. It's like we know nowadays how much money you have to spend to like collect Pokemon cards. This, for me, like I'm having fun collecting Pokemon cards and I don't have to spend anything. It scratches that like nostalgia itch there. And I think with the battles and everything being like how normal people play, they'll have fun with it and it'll last. I think you won't get the same kind of cultural shift that Pokemon Go had, where everyone was out trying to, like, there'd be word of a certain Pokemon in a certain place and people would flood there.
I remember just seeing people run through parks because like a Charizard is there.
Yeah. I was there.
I was also, me and my mates went, there's a dual carriageway on like the outskirts of Preston where I live, and we were in two separate cars and we pulled over because there was a field next to it where a cipher had appeared. And this was like 11 o'clock at night. There's like no cars around. We pulled over and put our hazards on, hopped into the field and went and caught a Pokemon, got back in the cars. Like,
Brand was real.
I don't think that will ever be reached again.
No, that was a whole other level.
I do think it will be a successful game. I mean, the downloads and the money it's made already is proving that.
Nintendo once again printing money.
And I think in comparison to Marvel Snap, I think it overtakes Marvel Snap. Pokemon is just such a strong
The
brand.
battle of the big IPs.
It absolutely destroys Marvel Snap. What I will say is Marvel Snap is an incredibly well-rounded game. I think its collection system is a lot more enjoyable because you personally upgrade your cards, which feels nicer. But you do also then lose out on the dopamine hit of pulling a full art, which is gonna the first time you pull a full art, you're addicted. I think the battle system is both the Marvel Snap battle system is simpler to learn, harder to master, and I think that curve for people who want more of a battle style suits them people more. I think if you want one of these games to like play as like a versus kind of game, Marvel Snap is more your speed. If you want to open packs and collect the pretty things and do a little bit of battling, Pokemon Go is definitely Pokemon TCG Pocket is definitely the way to go.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a pretty good point. I've wanted to dip my toes into the TCG space for a while. My mate plays Magic on a weekly basis. He goes to like his local comic shop and plays every week. And I've always had that itch. I went to Comic-Con last month and I actually bought a Disney Lorcana booster set, like the start pack, waiting for an online version to come into play because I've not quite got the balls to go and play it at a local just yet. But I've wanted to dabble for a while.
There is a
now.
few like Magic the Gathering games. I can't remember what they're called because I've played a couple in the past with my mates where you can build a deck and like actually play it. But yeah, it scratches that itch of wanting to. Like, there's part of me I used to collect Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I'm like, if I had money, I'd be throwing it at them again.
Me and my brother had so many Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I dread to think how much value we destroyed by just not caring about them. I dread to think.
I probably had a first edition multiple, and they just got destroyed.
I don't know where half of mine went. Like, I only have like that many, and I used to have like a stack. Also, I know, and this is something I hate myself for. In primary school, it was like when Yu-Gi-Oh took off, and I was like, oh, that shift from Pokemon. All right, that shift from Pokemon to Yu-Gi-Oh because it was like the new thing, like the older, like past Pokemon. Now we're onto Yu-Gi-Oh because that's the new cool thing. I traded like some younger kid had Yu-Gi-Oh cards, didn't want them, wanted Pokemon cards, and he had something really cool, and I just traded him a fat chunk of Pokemon cards I didn't care for what, like 2 Yu-Gi-Oh cards that in my head I was like, oh, this is a great deal because like these are really good.
Yu-Gi-Oh's the future.
I have it's not like a bad thing to go Yu-Gi-Oh, but like I have no idea what I gave away in that Pokemon. Like I don't have any Pokemon cards left to show for it, but this scratches that itch without me having to spend any money. So this is great.
Yeah, it's really, really good, and it will also absolutely lead to a lot of people like ourselves who just want to scratch that itch. Then go, you know what? I've dipped my toe. I'm going to start buying cards, and then they've got you twice, and they're going to make a fuck ton of money. Just so they
it
can
feels like
obviously
companies. You've been playing it. It feels like it's come at a good time because TCG Sim. A lot of big streamers have been playing that. The views, the numbers.
I wouldn't call myself big, but thank you.
The numbers that game's been doing on Twitch, YouTube, TikTok. So it's sort of dropped at the perfect time because anyone who sees the letters TCG, if oh, I'm intrigued by that. Let me click on it, get it downloaded.
Absolutely.
Little before they know it, they've bought the battle pass, and they've subbed each month. Battle pass. But yeah, I think Marvel Snap is huge, and it's still getting like weekly support, to my best knowledge.
Yeah. No, Marvel Snap gets updates almost daily with stuff. It's fucking ridiculous.
So I think it has definitely potential to go on par with that. I don't think it will overtake Pokemon Go myself, but we'll have to wait and see. I subscribe to because you get the
2-week free
battle
trial
pass for 2 weeks. I think that's actually worn off now from the time that we're recording.
Yeah, mine's
And
run out today.
they sort of they lure you in like the thought, oh, just one extra pack a day. Am I going to be paying a monthly fee? They've got me by the balls already.
Not when it's like £8 a month. I was like, no.
Oh yeah.
When I saw
I-
that, I was like, if it's less than like £3, they might have a winner. But £8
But they
is
didn't. Yeah, that's
delusional.
outrageous.